How is it going, boys and girls? A Trout91 here, back for a Friday commentary. Haven't done a format of Friday commentary for a while. Well, I say a while, it's been a couple of weeks at the most, but yeah, those other videos I've been posting, kind of like a Friday commentary of sorts, but they're a little bit different, trying to keep it a little bit fresh, a little bit clean. But today we've got 30 facts you might not know about me. I've revealed a lot about myself over the years, admittedly, and I'm okay with that, you know, and I thought I would tell you about 30 facts about myself that you might not know, because I consider you guys who have stuck around friends, and I feel like you should know some things about me. It could change your opinion on me, it could not. We could be very much alike. It could be that we agree so much on certain things that we actually go out and start dating or something. I don't know, but who knows? Let's get into it. Number 1, my worst physical injury was around, when was that? How old was I? About 13, 14, maybe 15? I'd say maybe like 14 or 15. I was in the garden, it was in the summertime, but it was dark outside, and my brother had a water gun, and he started spraying my dog Henry. Everyone knows Henry, that old git, but what a legend he is in the old YouTube-ness. So what he did was started spraying him, and I was like, don't do that, and he kept doing it, so I picked up one and started spraying him, and then he chased me around the garden, because obviously being the older brother, he's probably going to beat me up or something. And I actually, you know the thing that you put coals on for the barbecue, the little coal tray, I actually ran into that, and if you look in your right foot where the webbing is from your smallest toe to your fourth toe, I cut that down about an inch. No, not an inch, that's too small. About 2 to 3 inches down. That's actually the worst physical injury I've had. I haven't really had that many physical injuries. I've never broken a bone or dislocated anything. I've sprained an ankle once or twice, but that's just like a standard thing. Is that a nice little collateral there? What a big boy I am. I'm just spraying this big thing. Number 2. This one is a painful one to admit. And I could get some stick. I think if I had my old viewers, then I would definitely have got a lot of stick for this, but my dad and my older brother are Tottenham fans, which you could probably put 2 and 2 together, means that I was technically a Tottenham fan when I was younger. But I want to explain myself before you start going, oh, Trout, how dare you do that? It's against all sort of honour and code of being a man and football. But when I was younger, when did I change teams? It was like 1995 to 1996, I believe. So I would have been about 4, 5, if my maths is correct, something like that. 4 or 5 years old. And at the time, my best mate was, I think he was also a Tottenham fan at the time, but for some reason he switched. I think his dad supported Chelsea or something, and he switched to Chelsea. And obviously he was my best mate at the time, so a lot of the time we ended up watching Chelsea play. Now, at that age, I played a bit of football. I had some interest in football, but I wasn't like over the moon involved in football, if I'm completely honest. I had that kind of phase where, you know, I would rather play it than watch it, and if I wasn't playing it, I wasn't that interested in watching it, to be honest. So it was a case of, I watched so much of Chelsea. I watched the likes of Zola, Dan Petrescu, Gus Poyet, etc., etc. And I loved the way they played. Like, I just watched them so much. I knew everything about Chelsea, and I knew nothing about Tottenham, and I gave no interest into Tottenham whatsoever. I just constantly watched Chelsea play. I watched videos of them. I loved the way that they played. I loved Zola especially, and it was just great. And at the time, to me, it seemed like there was no real reason to be supporting Tottenham, because I didn't really have any interest in them, and I was just more interested in supporting Chelsea, which is why I actually made the change to Chelsea in the end. And I'd also like to say that it's not glory hunting, because at the time we finished below Tottenham in the league. So there, alright? Those about to write the glory hunting comments. And also, unless I was some sort of psychic, there's no way I could have predicted that we would get invested by Roman Abramovich, okay? So, have some of that, alright? I'm glad we got that sorted out. Anyway, moving on, as I put my phone down to explain that, because this is where all my notes are. Number 3, I used to never like beer. I actually forced myself to like beer, because I kind of started on cider, and then I threw up too many times. Well, that's a nice thing to say, but yeah, I got sick on cider too many times, so I just grew sick of it, and I just couldn't drink it anymore. And then I just really didn't like beer, so I was like, what the hell, what is going to be that drink that if we went out for a social drink that I could have, you know, like going for a social drink and then having like a vodka something. It didn't seem right at the time, so I was like, I've got to force myself to like beer. I just started drinking beer, and I was like, ugh, this is terrible. I started on Carlsberg. I became a bit obsessed with Carlsberg just because it was the one thing that I could actually bear. And then, I don't know, as my palate grew and my taste for beer grew, I just kind of liked all beers, and now there's not a single beer I don't like, really. Apart from Carling. That thing is just like a cheesy bit of fizz. I don't know. Anyway. When I was not when I was number 4. Not when I was 4 either. Number 4, I was a very good artist. I used to be a really good artist. My mum used to be an amazing artist as well. She actually painted Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in my little sister's room when we were younger. And I think she did some other things in the house, but that's the one thing that I remember, and it was amazing. She was an amazing artist, and I took after her. My older brother was good as well. I think my little brother was a good artist as well. So that's that. Number 5, I played a season at least, half a season in every position. I didn't say that right. So yeah, I played half a season at least in every position. I think when I was younger, I was I think I was a defender. I remember playing in defense quite a lot, and I was actually like one of the fastest people in my school at the time, and one of the fastest people like playing Sunday League football at the time, because I just absolutely obliterated anyone in the speed run. I was still one of the fastest for quite a while, but then once I hit like year 7, I just found that there's so many other people faster than me. But played like left back, right back, maybe centre back, and centre mid when I was younger. But this is like before under 11, so you're only playing what, 7 aside then, 5 aside, 7 aside, something like that. And then once I reached under 11s, I played centre mid a lot. Had a good season. I played right and left mid under 12s, and then under 13s. For some reason, I wanted to play striker because I always found myself in that Frankie Lampard role of just getting forward and scoring. So I was like, I wouldn't mind giving a striker role. I mean, I always score in training at least. How hard could it be in the games? And the first game, they actually gave me an opportunity in a cup. It was against a team that we knew we weren't likely to win against, but I think it ended up being 3-3 or something. No, or 3-2 to them. I didn't actually score, but I managed to get an assist, and then I was like, alright. And then they gave me a chance in the league game because they felt that I was doing well, but it was kind of my make or, it was made very clear it was my make or break. If I don't, you know, like pull out some goals, I'm not going to likely see striker position again, at least not for a while. And then I go and bag a hat-trick. And then I think because the league back then, we only had about 12 teams in the league, or maybe 14, 16. So there's only about 20 to 25 games a season, somewhere in that ballpark. And I started like just past the halfway mark, so there was only about 10-ish games left or something like that. My maths and assuming is probably pretty horrible, but anyway. And I managed to score myself 15 goals and equal top goal scorer with the guy who was our actual striker at the time. So that was good. And then under 14s, I went off the ball completely. I had my one good season, then I was terrible again. I couldn't do anything. I was just I was doing a Fernando Torres basically, overthinking everything and not performing. And then I think under 14s, 15s, I kind of sat on the bench because obviously I was seen as a striker, not really anything else. And then I asked if I could start playing centre back because I felt I was really good at it, and I was fast, and I was obviously hit my growth spurt, so I was like 6'1"-ish. So I was like, alright, let's have a go at centre back, and then I played there for the majority of the rest of my time, but played centre mid, centre defensive mid, and bits and pieces like that throughout that. So, and then I was the backup goalie, and then in my final year, like that guy gets a quad. I think it was the under 18s. I played in goal for most of the season, just because we didn't have our faithful goalie went off to do other things, and I was left in goal. But I was not very good. I had been our backup goalie, and I was actually pretty decent in the couple of games I had played, and then I got to that, and I think I was just too big and too old to be able to pull off the reactions I did when I was younger. But that is that. This is the random one. I used to think that I Believe in Miracles was I Believe in Milka. I have no idea why. But yeah, that's just me as a kid, I guess. Number 7, I used to think there was a ghost man watching me sleep when I was younger. So I used to be in the very top room of the house where the attic is, basically, with my younger brother and my older brother, and we all used to share a room. And then I actually moved downstairs to my own room, and then we had an extension done in the house, and I moved in the extension room, and then my little brother moved into my old room, and that is the extension room is the room that I am in currently. My first proper montage I ever edited was an old clan members. It was a Gears of War 1 montage, and it had the songs of Villa, Ladies and Gentlemen. All it was me just showing the clips and then putting a replay after every single one. I don't know why I thought that was a good edit. I don't know why I thought showing a replay was a good thing to do, but yeah, it was not good. Number 9, I used to play competitive Call of Duty during COD 4 World at War. I think I've said this one before, but RGB team, it was a North American hardcore search and destroy team, at least on World at War, and we managed to reach 13th in the ladders on the MLG game battle site, so that was pretty good. That's like my only real claim to fame in competitive. I played Ghost tournament, I came 8th online, but that's about it. And I went to LAN, I played alright, I guess. Number 10, never smoked, never done drugs, never had any urge to do it. Just tell people what's the point, I'm not going to gain anything from it, so there's no real point in me doing it. My middle name is Robert. That's number 11. Number 12, I used to post random videos of me and my friends doing silly drunken stuff before I got big from COD. I think a couple of you will probably have seen those, but for those of you who didn't know, that's what I used to do. And then I used to record Call of Duty on my phone, and then I actually got a capture card, then posted random videos from COD like that, and FIFA and bits and pieces. Then the World at War beta was the start of the Trout 91. Number 13, I failed my driver's test 3 times. The first time I failed it, I got 2 majors and 5 minors. I was sat at a junction, like a T-junction, for ages, and it was obviously just after the school run, so there was so many cars on the road, and there was just no clear opportunity to go. And I was sat there for ages, and I was so nervous, and the instructor wasn't saying anything, didn't say, you know, like, edge out or be patient or whatever, just sat there completely quiet. And I was like, I've never had a real opportunity like this, like a real situation where I've had to deal with something like this. So I was like, right, if I see an opportunity, I'll go for it. And I went for it. I thought it was a pretty decent opportunity. I thought I could have definitely got out. And I pulled out, and then apparently I made the card behind me dramatically slow down, which I think was absolutely rubbish, to be completely honest. And then the other one was I actually stopped on a hill, pulled by the side of the road, and my instructor always told me to, you know, put the handbrake on, put it in neutral, and I put it in neutral, and obviously so nervous I forgot to put it back in gear, and I started rolling backwards, and the instructor stopped me from rolling backwards, even though I had it, like, literally as I realized that she put the brakes on. So that was unlucky. And then the second time, I literally was about 10 yards away from the center, about to pass my test, and then for some reason the guy grabs the wheel and then, like, moves the wheel, and it clips a wing mirror, which I would maintain I wasn't going to hit unless he had touched it, because I let go of the wheel. Obviously he's just grabbed it. My instant reaction is to let go of the wheel because he's just grabbed it off me. And then, yeah, that happened. And that one was a good one as well. I think it was like 5 minors and no majors until that one. And then the third time I failed, I got 13 minors, no majors, but apparently I didn't check my mirrors enough. And she made up some excuse that apparently there was a biker behind me, coming up behind me, and I hadn't seen him, even though if there was a biker there, I would have probably seen him because he would have gone past me at the roundabout. But absolute rubbish. They've got a quota to live by, and they make up excuses. Number 14, I used to have an extra tooth in the roof of my gums, and I've had 6 to 8 teeth removed, and I've had braces. So yeah, my teeth were a bit funny when I was younger. I'm that typical British kid with the bad teeth. Number 15, I used to shave my head skin-headed, and my dad used to call me Peanut. I don't really know why he used to call me Peanut. I guess I look like a peanut if you put 2 and 2 together, but that was a weird one. Number 16, I used to hate Chinese food, and about a year or 2 ago I became obsessed with it. I don't know what it is. There's something about that sweet chili chicken that just sends me going. Some noodles, oh yeah, put that on the side. Number 17, I bought an Xbox 360 purely for Halo 3, and I used to be a big Nintendo fanboy. I think some people probably know that, but just letting you know in case you didn't. Number 18, this is one that no one will really understand. I might have said it once before, but I haven't really delved into it. So, during the World at War Road to Commander series, I had recently bought a hard drive, I think to either record on or move stuff or something like that. And I moved all my Road to Commander stuff onto my hard drive, and I think I accidentally made a copy of some of the files, and I was like, oh, I must have made a copy of all of them. And I deleted all of it, and it turned out that I actually had deleted all of the footage that I had recorded, because obviously I recorded that whole thing in like a 2-week period, and I was uploading it a couple months later still, because how quickly I got it done with and how much there was. There was actually a situation where I was playing Search and Destroy, and this guy had a modded controller, and he was using M1A1, and I got so pissed off of him, like I got absolutely outrageously angry. And I was just like, I called him out in the Search and Destroy. I was like, you're a bitch. What the hell's wrong with you? You can't do anything unless you're modding. And then I invited him to the game, like to my party. He invited me to a party. I joined a party. I started having a go. He goes, oh, 1v1 me then. 1v1. I was just like so angry. I was like, you know what? Fine. Let's 1v1 then. He goes, alright, you host. You pick up the rules. I don't care what you put on. So what I did was I put it on. Perks don't matter because I knew he was going to do something like a Juggernaut MP40 or he was going to get his M1A1 out again. So I put there's no perks, there's no radar on, obviously, and I was tempted to put headshots only just to take the piss out of the 1v1, but I actually wanted to prove that I could beat this guy in a 1v1. So I left it just, no perks were on at all, and that was it. But before I realised that, I accidentally left kill streaks on. So we're playing, it was pretty even for a while, and I was ahead by like 1 kill, maybe 2 at times, and then he'd kind of like bring it back. And then all of a sudden I got a little bit of a lead on him, and I actually invited him. I actually plugged in my mic and started talking to him. I was like, you know what, you're actually a decent player, so I don't know why you need, because he was using an MP40 or something like that. And I was like, I don't know why you need to use an M1A1 with a mod on it. And we were just having like a general conversation, and then I got like a UAV, because I think I think he got a UAV at one point, because I heard it during the echo of his mic, and then I got one, and I called it in. Obviously I killed him 2 more times, and then I got an artillery. I dropped the artillery in the base, and this is obviously on dome, and he's like, oh, what are you calling the kill streaks for, what are you doing? And I was just like, mate, you said I could make the rules whatever I wanted, and I got him 2 more times, and I called him my dogs, and he rage quit the game. So that would have been a funny one to watch, because my angle was special that day, but it's a shame you didn't get to see that. Number 19. I used to be a really good COD 4 sniper. Like, before I did the whole red gun stuff, I used to be a Call of Duty 4 ACOGger. Used to do the no-scopey, quick-scopey thing, make montages that way. I used to be and then I switched to reg scope, and I used to be an absolute king at reg scoping. Like, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I was I watched some old videos back, and I was just like, I used to be so damn good at it. So damn good, and then I just got like bored of it. I think it was because so many people did it, and so many videos got posted of sniping. I was just like, you know what, I'm going to reg gunning. I used to play on 8 sensitivity to reg scope, because it was in that sensitivity where I could also slightly use a reg gun. And then I was like, I want to use a reg gun and get gameplays, especially when Modern Warfare 2 came out and World at War and stuff. So I actually lowered it to help myself out with my aim a bit. So that's that. Number 20, my favorite game ever is Super Smash Bros. Melee. Probably the best game ever made. Really looking forward to the Wii version of it. I'm going to get probably the 3DS and the Wii version of Super Smash Bros. I'm going to post some videos. Don't you worry about that, boys. My first MSN email, this is a funny one, was mrbeefy200@hotmail.com. Now, I think at the time, it was around 2000 odd, the year, and the most recent video, like, film I watched was Little Nicky, you know, with the bulldog who's called Mr. Beefy. So I had that, and then I think I went to put 2000 in, or someone was helping me do it, and I put 2000 in, but I accidentally put 200, or whether 2000 was taken, I can't remember, and we put 200 instead. I think we accidentally put 200, but anyway, that was my first MSN, and then I made like fucking 7 or 8 MSN ads after that. Quite weird. I think I had one like Chris the Wrecking Ball. No, Chris the Wrecking Ball. And my older brother made one called Ben the Bulldozer. I don't know what that was about. We were weird kids, but. And then I had one like my old tag was the Crazy Kid. I don't know. That was like my alias when I was younger. What a faggot I was. But number 22. I won Players Player in the last season of football. This is the season where I was in goal for most of it. For one skill move, that was literally it. So I went to the toilet during the presentation evening, and I hadn't decided who's Players Player, obviously, because they usually ask you on that night. And I think they were all sitting there, and it was like, oh, so who's going to be your Players Player? And apparently my mate Adam goes, well, I know I'm voted for. It's obvious, isn't it? It's going to be Chris for that skill move. I literally just, like, I ran towards someone to get the pass. I got the ball, and I, like, did a half roulette turn, and then I think I flicked the ball through the guy's legs out of nowhere, like, in one sweeping motion. So I, like, came forward, turned as I was receiving the pass, and then, like, touched it and flicked it through his legs and ran through on goal. And then we flopped the goal, because I think I passed at someone, and they had a terrible shot. Almost fell over running at that as well, but that was it. That's all I did, and I got Players Player for that, so. In terms of Football Awards, I think that was the best I got. I got some Most Improved Players and, like, Club Player, stuff like that. I got my 10-year award for actually only being there about 7 years as well. And I got my 7-year award for only being there for about 5. So that was quite funny. But no one knows that. Keep it to yourself. Number 23, I've had the displeasure of buying Call of Duty Ghosts 6 times. So I actually bought my copy early, and I bought one for Martin, Paul, and Ben, who all work with me at Gfinity. So that's 4 times at least there. I then bought it once again on the Xbox One, and I then bought it on the PC. That also doesn't include the copy that I had pre-ordered in case I didn't get one from Shop 2 that didn't actually arrive, and I got credited for that. And then I got sent a prestige, well, I got given a prestige one for winning the Call of Duty launch tournament. By the way, 2-time Call of Duty launch champion, just thought I'd let you know that, but yeah. 24, the one place I want to visit the most is China. I don't know, I think it's Chinese food. I just want to go there and eat a lot of Chinese food. And I think it's a nice place, it's with a nice culture. I wouldn't mind going to Japan and Australia as well. My old mate Gavin lives in Australia. He went over there to live there when we were 16, just before we went to 6th form, or college, either way, what you want to call it. So we only see him a little bit now and then through the years, so it'd be nice to go and see what he's been up to down there. Number 25, I used to have really bad hearing when I was younger, like really dreadful. Even now, like I listen to things on full blast. It's not good, my hearing. But yeah, not really good. I had all sorts of problems. I had doctor's appointments as well to hear it, and I had hearing tests. I seem to be okay now, but yeah, not very good hearing. Number 26, if I'm on a mission or I'm going somewhere, or I'm studying, or I'm reading, or I'm watching something, and I see someone I know, I will do everything to avoid them. I will avoid eye contact. I will pretend I'm texting on my phone. I'm doing something on my phone. I'm busy. Like, sometimes when I don't want to talk to someone, I will do what I can not to talk to them. It's like, you know, you get caught on those days where you just can't be asked. I will do everything I can to avoid them because that is just, it's just like I don't want to talk to you. Like, the worst is when I used to have exams and I get the train train into uni, and then there'll be someone I'd recognize and we'd have to have a conversation and be like, mate, I've got an exam, I really want to just study. Or if I'm watching something, I'm like, mate, I don't want to talk to you, I want to watch my show or watch my film or something, leave me alone. And especially if it's a dry person, they don't really have much of a conversation, but you feel a bit rude, like going, alright, well, anyway, I'm going to go back to study and see you later. Number 28, I've had one proper fight in my life. I've definitely told you about this, but yeah, when was I? Year 10, some dude, we're playing Year 10 versus Year 9s football. It got really heated. For some reason, this guy thought he was one of those guys who thought he could get away with shit. He pushed me after we ran for a ball into the fence, and I didn't have it. I pushed him back, and then we started squaring up with each other. Got left at that. Teacher came in and told us to break it up. And then it was like next week he started fighting me. He hit me first, and then started hitting me. I hit him back. I actually gave him a black eye. I took a couple bumps to the face, but he came out definitely looking the worst of it. Even though it was one of those things. He fought by like swinging his arms and stuff and put his head down. And I was like, this guy's like, I'd hit him a couple times, he hit me a couple times. I was like, all right, well, I'm done with this. And then he started coming after me again. Instead of going to punch him, I just absolutely walloped him with a knee to the face, which gave him a nice black eye. Number 29, I sit down to Wii. I'm not afraid to admit that, because it's really it's quite nice. Also, especially if you're in a hurry and you don't want to aim, it's quite difficult to kind of like hit the seat, and especially at night. I mean, have you ever got up in the middle of the night and you go to the toilet and you don't want to turn on the light because obviously it hurts your eyes, so you just sit down on the toilet and you're just like, you can't see, can you? So you just sit down, just get on with it. But anyway, I actually tweeted that out, and there were quite a few people who also agreed with me. I was like, all right, fair enough. So that's that. And then number 30, my favorite sandwich is peanut butter and Marmite. So that's a good one. Like, people think I'm a weird. Like, I guess some people don't like Marmite, which is understandable if you don't like Marmite. I don't really know why you don't like Marmite, but some people don't really like Marmite that much. And I love Marmite. I love peanut butter. And, you know, I was like, well, if you were going to eat Marmite, let's say you eat Marmite and you put butter on it, obviously you wouldn't even think twice about that. So why is it really different with peanut butter? I mean, it's butter, it's peanut. You like peanut butter, you like Marmite. Put them together. Godly combination. My dad came up with that when we were younger. So putting it on something like toast or a crusty roll is amazing. But yeah. That's my 30 random facts about me. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, do feel free to drop a like rating, and I hope to see you in the future for more videos. Let me know any random facts about yourself, or any comments you have about the ones I've discussed today, or any that you agree with during the video. So, hope to see you later. I'll see you soon. Peace out.